Hi everybody. Each year at ECCi, we start off the new year with what we call the Daniel Fast. It's a 21-day period where we fast, we change our diet, and we spend extra time in the presence of God. And it's proved to be a very significant season for our church. It's based on the fast that Daniel himself did, the prophet Daniel in the Bible. In Daniel chapter 10, verse 2 to 3, it reads, "In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning for 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant meat, no food, no wine came into my mouth, nor did I anoint myself till all 3 of the full weeks were fulfilled." You see, in Daniel's story, as a result of his fast, Daniel experienced 3 very significant things. His spiritual strength was increased. There was a sense of renewal and refreshing for him. Physically, it was noted that he became incredibly healthy and there was a fresh and new vitality to the way he was. Emotionally, of course, maturity and well-being was solidified and strengthened inside of his own life. I think we can have the same. And I believe, a church like ours, if we dedicate ourselves and if everybody walked in a kind of upgrade on those kind of issues, well, what kind of church would we look like at the end of a 3-week period? Every year we've done this, we've sensed a fresh touch of the grace of God on our lives. And that's why we're committed to doing this every year. Look, the idea of the Daniel fast commonly for us is that those foods which we normally would enjoy, we set aside as an act of worship and dedication to God. So on this fast, we'll be eating a plant-based diet that contains no additives or stimulants. It means we'll omit foods such as meat, processed foods, fats, sugars, caffeine, and dairy products for at least all of those 21 days, and then you can wean yourself back into them after that period has concluded. Now, as you are involved in fasting, and if you're new to the whole subject of fasting, you may want to talk to some of us about that and for a little more detail. But while you're weaning yourself off of all of the processed foods that we've been engaged in eating so freely, with all of those additives and sometimes some of the toxins that are inside of those foods, we may well find ourselves being detoxed during this process. And of course, people have come out with little cold sweats or heat problems, or they felt a little queasy, a little nauseous at the beginning of their fast. They've experienced issues to do with tiredness and some achiness in their bones. Look, all of these things initially are the body just cleansing itself of the toxins that we've got in our body. And so, before it becomes a delight, the fast normally is a bit of a duty. Few key issues before you begin your fast. If you are taking medication and you need to do that while you're on the fast, I suggest that before you go ahead with this, you just have a quick conversation with your GP. Long before the fast, maybe a few weeks before we actually begin, I think it's a good idea to wean yourself off excessive sugars and caffeine, etc., so that you can start the fast well. Just kind of detox your system a little bit before we hit that first 21 days. Oh, and by the way, if you're doing this and you're under 18, can I plead with you that you speak with your parents first, those who have a parental or guardianship over your life, just to be sure that you have their endorsement and they're fully aware of what's going on, so that you can do this in a manner that's responsible and sensible. Well, as a church, we'll be meeting to pray together every day during this 21-day fast, as I've mentioned. So if you want all of the details on that, check the website and you'll get all of the details and all of the venues provided on those websites, so you know where we are and what we're doing at any time. I think you're really going to enjoy it. We're also providing you with a Daniel Fast devotional that will help you have focused moments of prayer, all by yourself or with your family members. We do this every year, and I want to thank those of you that have contributed to the devotion this year. There have been some great thoughts, some really penetrating insights that I think are going to stir people to think deeply as they begin to draw near to God. Look, can I make a plea? Can I ask you to join us? I know it's a challenge for people. I know, it's going to be a little uncomfortable to begin with. If you've not done this before, it's going to be a little odd, a little strange. But you will be blessed by the overwhelming results of what happens for your spirit, for your mind, and of course for your body. I think it's going to be a helpful time. I'm looking forward to being a part of it. And I'm asking you to join me on what's going to be our 2022 Daniel Fast.